Welcome back. Children are facing a lot of changes these days. No access to school, friends, most especially grandparents. We spoke recently with Dr. Chris Ladish of Marybridge Hospital about the problems that might crop up and ways to deal with 3 categories of age groups of kids.
I think that with young children, we often see them acting out with their behavior, what they might be feeling internally. When kids are really going through a lot of stress and struggling, it's hard for them necessarily to access their words and their language as effectively as they'd like to. So it's not uncommon that we'll see them asking for the kind of reassurance they need, whether intentionally or unintentionally, via their behavior. Testing limits, breaking rules, maybe withdrawing. We may see some regression in speech, some regression in toileting patterns, sleep habits, etc. As well as kids may just voice that they're feeling afraid or they're feeling confused or sad.
So when we see these behaviors, or if kids can actually verbalize them at that age, what should we do as parents?
Well, the first thing I want to say for all the parents that are listening is that, we want to follow the airline industry stewardess speech. Put your own air mask on first before you put it on your child. Take a few deep breaths. Remember that you've got this. You know your child better than anybody else does. Rely on what works. And then I think, we want to offer reassurance. We want to engage in routines. I think kids, when they ask via their behavior or their testing limits, it's really their way of saying, what else is changing in my world? I can't go outside. I can't see my friends. I can't have my same play patterns. Do I go to bed at the same time? Do I have to eat my vegetables? And I think as parents, if we can manage those routines, kind of demonstrate with a calm and supportive approach that, yes, we've got this. We're going to be okay. I'm taking care of you. That can do a lot to de-escalate kids.
For grade schoolers, what might we be looking at?
I think in the grade school level, kids are kind of in between. I mean, that's a vast age range, right? Talking about grade schoolers. So I think at the younger age range, kids may still be kind of literal and concrete. They understand a little bit more about the fact that things are changing now. They may not understand that it's changing for a longer term. And so we may find ourselves as parents reiterating that conversation over and over again, which may feel frustrating, but is necessary. Conversely, for older kids, we may find that they may overgeneralize, that it feels like things have changed so much and they're worried about, is this the new normal forever? So I think, again, listening, understanding where your child's coming from, offering truthful information in short sound bites and allowing them to ask the next question in terms of their need for information.
Teenagers are pretty aware of what's going on. They watch the news. They understand more, comprehend more about the general situation, but they're facing a lot. I mean, they have a lot on the line with school, with graduation, et cetera. What do we do in terms of looking for signs with them that they might be under too much stress?
Yeah, and I think they are under stress. I think that's probably one of the most challenging age groups right now because, teenagers are in that frame of reference where they're wanting to grow and individuate from their parents. School, their peer groups, their social connections really are their world. And so their world has become very constricted and restricted, and we should expect them to be frustrated. I think it's helpful to talk aloud with teenagers, to say, gosh, I recognize that you can't go to your sports, or I'm wondering if you're wondering about graduation or your school patterns. What are the other kids talking about? And just kind of engage them in conversation. We may see kids that are externalizers, that are out there with their emotions or are testing the limits, or who are trying to not comply with the stay-at-home order. We may also see kids that are just kind of pulling away, withdrawing in their desire to just have some of their own time and their alone time. Kids may want to spend more time in their rooms, which I think a little bit of that is okay, but I think it's important to pull them out and get some time with the family as well. I think the best you can do is listen and ask questions, because not every teenager is the same. I would say that I think we need to give a lot of credit to teens as young individuals. I think, most of them really do want to do the right thing. I think they have a social and moral consciousness. And I think if we explain the why and continue to come back to the importance of the social distancing or the physical distancing, I think they can rise to the occasion of this. And I think also sitting alongside them about our own frustrations. This is hard on all of us. And I think, helping teens understand the great role they're playing in leveling out this curve can be very valuable. I think it's easy for any of us to see ourselves as victim when we're caught sitting home and not being able to go out and do the things we'd like to. But we're also the superheroes. We are the ones who are helping flatten this curve. And it takes all of us. It really takes us to stay home and to make the right choices and to do the right things, parents and kids. And so I think it's really important that our children hear that from us, that it's really each and every single one of us is playing a role.
I really appreciated what she had to say. Dr. Ladish has provided for us some really important resources for all three of the age groups we talked about, and also for special needs kids, and we'll have that on our website for you. I hope you'll take a look.